Well, welcome back from Christmas. We're going to start off the first 2 weeks at least online, and so you guys have all been through Organic 1, and I don't really expect this to be much different. There might be a few subtle changes, but like always, we're going to go through the syllabus, and if you have any questions, please let me know. I'm going to try and make this fairly quick because, like I said, this shouldn't be anything too new. One thing to keep in mind, this is a source course, so in integration, I think that's the one that it is. So that'll count for your graduation requirements. Office hours are here. They're kind of wonky because our schedule is kind of weird this year, but there'll be a link on Moodle where you can click to schedule office hours with me if you need them. But really, you guys have my cell phone. You're welcome to text me. Usually that's a pretty efficient way to communicate back and forth. Otherwise, we can do Google Meet or whatever. Lab this semester unfortunately starts 15 minutes earlier. It'll be on Tuesdays, but that won't really be an issue for the first 2 weeks. The first 2 weeks will be online things, and we're going to work through some of the more boring dry labs. I guess you could call them boring. So we'll get those over with during this time. Aside from that, it'll be basically the same. Lecture is in Charles 28, which is the big classroom where we had Gen Chem 1 a year ago. You don't need any new books, nothing really that you should have to buy. So anyway, this continues on with where we left off last semester. There's some uncertainty because of COVID and all that. Normally, I try to take a field trip to Bethel College in the spring, after spring break, to do use some of their instrumentation. But whether or not that happens, I don't know. Learning outcomes you can read on your own. The assessment assignment will be coming up mid-semester. It'll be basically like what we did with the Pick Your Poison paper, except a little more in-depth because we will have learned more by then. So just know that will be coming. I expect a little bit more length, 1,250 to 1,500 words, which is about 5 or 6 pages. Some of you already did that in the fall. So this kind of digs in a little bit deeper into some of the biological type things, and it can be pretty interesting. You can choose pretty much whatever pharmaceutical you want. Some people like to choose ones that they're currently taking, or other ones. Last year I had hydroxychloroquine people were interested in then. Assessment activities and so on, you can read that. The grading scale, looks like I should have edited a little bit better. So anyway, that is straightforward. The evaluation policy is essentially the same as what we had last semester as well. Attendance, again, I copied this all from the same PowerPoint as last year. One thing to note, I'm not doing this synchronous, the online portion, meaning that I will post videos on the Moodle page, and then I will expect them to be watched and completed and the assignments done by a certain time. So you'll notice on Moodle that it will say by Wednesday at 7:45 a.m. or by Thursday at 7:30 a.m. That's essentially like we would do in regular class. If you have assignments, they're due at the beginning of class. So therefore, the things that I've planned for Monday need to be completed by class time on Wednesday, and things done in lab on Thursday need to be completed by lab in the following Thursday. So you'll always have the place to turn things in on the day that they're due. So hopefully that makes sense. Take a quick glance at it. You guys are smart, and I think that you'll have no trouble figuring that out. You'll receive credit for doing your work on time. I'm going to be much less lenient with late work. Late work last semester was a huge nightmare, not so much for your class, but for other classes. And it's just too hard to keep track of. So I'm going to be much more strict with getting your stuff done on time. Homework and quizzes is basically the same as before. I don't generally assign homework in this class. However, our quizzes, I kind of fell behind on that last semester. Quizzes will be akin to homework this semester. You've heard me give my spiel, organic chemistry especially. You have to do it. You have to put pencil to paper and practice it in order to learn it. So what we started last semester about middle of October with learning reactions and mechanisms, we kick into overdrive this semester, and that is what we are going to do, and we are going to keep on doing it clear until the end. So again, like I said, don't allow yourself to get behind. There are 4 hourly exams worth 100 points each. I don't have any of them scheduled for the online portion of the class, so we should be able to do that when you guys are all back in person. I still have the resurrection policy, meaning if you bomb one of your tests and you do well on the final, I'll increase your low regular test grade to what you got in the final. That should be old hat to you guys by now. A comprehensive final exam will be given at the end of the semester. I'm planning to give you the American Chemical Society's standardized exam, which is a big undertaking, I guess you could call it. It's worth 200 points. It is not easy, so I'll start reminding you to prepare for that early on. One thing to keep in mind is you can purchase study guides for this online that are very helpful. I don't unfortunately have any of them, so if you want them, you'll need to purchase them on your own. They're about $25. The ACS exam is uniformly given to second semester organic students at basically every college and university across the country. So therefore it helps us, especially as you transfer, if you're transferring to a school that Hesston College has not transferred to before, it's a good way to prove that your organic chemistry course was up to snuff, and it is, and helps ensure that your hard work this year actually will transfer. Usually that's a really good insurance policy to show that your class was a quality class. I think that's all I have to say about that. Normal stuff, missing exams, let me know. Lab is the same type of thing. We never actually got to check out of our lab drawers last semester, so they're a little bit of a mess. I'm going to try and get that taken care of before you all come back. This semester, our current enrollment is 5 in this class, so I'm not sure exactly what to do with a group of 3 in organic lab, so I might have you guys rotating around and working with different people each week, which is good practice anyway. Pre-labs are due midnight the day before the lab and should be on Moodle. I'm planning to do those as quizzes. If they're late, they are worth nothing, so I have to have them done. Still going to be doing our notebooks and so on the same way. I'm going to be more strict with keeping a good notebook. That's a skill that you really need to develop. Brief lab reports are basically the same thing, so I put the format for that in here so you can check that if you need. Notebook is here with your instructions. Again, it's nothing new, it's the same as before, so I'm going to slide past that pretty quick. Your FGT notebook will be continuing on. So last semester I had you guys finish the first portion, and there will be a few small additions to that, but I will do the full check of that due with your first test. After that, we'll keep on adding on to it. So I'll give you a little more information on that on Moodle as a downloadable document you can look for. You heard me preach at you last semester, don't procrastinate. You will get yourself into trouble if you do that. So please keep an eye on that. The course schedule is here. Again, it's subject to change, but we really need to keep on it and not allow ourselves to get behind. So If we find ourselves getting behind, that will probably mean some independent online work at times during the semester. We didn't have to do that last semester though, where I would record lessons and then you watch them on your own at home or in your dorm room. Otherwise, it should be pretty straightforward. I do have some review and catch-up days built into the semester, so hopefully we can not find ourselves in a pickle at the end. The exams are scheduled usually about 2 to 3 weeks apart, so I'm going to continue giving smaller exams over less material rather than bigger exams that are harder to study for. When we get to about the middle of March, that's when we finish our workbook, and then I have a few other things, carbohydrates, lipids, and polymers that we'll have to cover out of the textbook. The textbook sections are relevant material. I'm putting those on Moodle. So for your reading assignments and so on. And time commitment, I basically copied this from Gen Chem 1. It's nothing new either. Attendance policies and so on from Hesston College. The Americans with Disabilities Act section has been updated, so if that pertains to you, make sure that you are aware of that and contact Kristen Kaufman. And dishonesty and plagiarism, I'm not really concerned about with you guys. I've had you for long enough that I trust you fairly well. So that wraps that up. You will also find a review problem set on Moodle. So for this, I asked you to complete it, but I want a picture of the back page. When you come back in person, then you can hand me the full thing and I can take a look at it. This should be a good review to get you thinking in organic chemistry again, because imagine your brains are a little out of practice. Should be pretty straightforward. Mechanisms, reactions, isomers, and more reactions. So I didn't give you structures because I figured that way you can have some practice turning names into actual structures. I would like to have the back page submitted to me by Friday. So I would expect this to take a few hours. So don't put it off too long. Okay, here is our Moodle page. This is Thursday before classes start, so I still have some more work to do on this. So when you view it, it might look a little bit different. It should look familiar from Organic 1. Contact information, resources. I have examples of brief lab report. The online techniques link is here where you can access the different things that I ask you to access. So you can find that all there. My office hours and so on are there. So each week there'll be a summary at the top of what we're going to cover that week. I listed on Monday, which is hopefully today when you're watching this, different things that I want you to start doing. So the syllabus is here. It is listed as a Google Drive link, which should take you to the syllabus where you can print that off, and other things like that. I'm going to try linking things that way rather than through uploading them as files to Moodle. Some people have trouble with those. So by Wednesday at class time, I want you to have read in your textbook sections 13.1 through 13.3, which is radical reactions. I know reading textbooks is something that we are not often very good at. I wasn't even very good at it when I was a student, but they're really helpful, and there's a lot of good information there, and a common trademark of somebody who does well in organic is somebody who knows how to use their textbook. By Wednesday at 7:45 a.m., I want you to have already watched the introduction video and to have begun working on the Organic Chemistry 1 review assignment. Complete and upload the time availability assignment. It's just a simple low-risk assignment to help give you an idea of time requirements and in uploading a photo onto Moodle, because some people still have a little trouble with that. Thursday by 7:30, that's lab, and then Friday by 7:45 a.m., I want you to have read the rest of Smith, chapter 13, and to have watched the Chem Activity 17 or 15A video. So, because it says by Friday at 7:45 a.m., I want you to have already watched CA 15A video by then. That doesn't mean that this is assigned to do on Friday. That means it should have been completed by then. Which means that when you get to Friday and you need to know what to do, you'll look ahead to Monday to see what needs to be finished by Monday at that time. So by 7:45 a.m. on Friday, a photo of your quiz should be uploaded, and a photo of your Organic 1 review should be uploaded. So that means they are due at 7:45 a.m. and they will be late after that. So I hope that makes that a little more understandable of how that's set up. I don't really have much set up beyond that just yet, so that's coming. But that'll give you an idea of how Moodle will be set up. This is a template that the college has shared with everybody, so this is hopefully something like you'll see on your other classes and be not too confusing. All right, as always, contact me if you have questions. You know how to get a hold of me, hopefully. You're welcome to use my cell phone. It's posted right here on the screen. Text it, call it, just as long as before 10 and after 6:30 in the morning. So, all right, I will talk to you later, and good luck on your review assignment.